Hey guys, it's Core Ross and welcome to 6 News. Today we're talking about Rainbow Six Extraction's after launch content. So we kinda have a roadmap, and I'm probably going to call this video the year 1 roadmap, but we don't actually know the time frame of this content. So let's get into it, and let's start with a disclaimer. So I'm expecting Rainbow Six Siege players to be very hostile to this game in the comments below. And I don't actually think this is who's going to play it. I think that most people who are going to play it are co-op lovers, people who play Deep Rock Galactic, people who love Back 4 Blood. I think people like that are going to freaking love this game. And I've now played the easiest and the hardest version of this game, and I loved both. So I'm pretty sure I'm also going to enjoy it. So you can be as hostile as you want to me in the comments below, and unfortunately I don't care. So let's get on with it. So this game is basically going to launch with a campaign. It's going to have your basic modes of easy, medium and hard. Then it's going to have assignments on top of that, which is basically the same thing but harder. Then you're going to have the Maelstrom Protocol, which is harder but also 3 times as long. And on top of that, the Maelstrom Protocol is going to reset with a new scenario every single week. And you can attempt to complete it to get some unique gear, which will not be attainable any other way. And then if we kind of think of this like a season in Siege, midway through we're going to get a crisis event, which in this one's going to be called Spillover, but we're also going to be getting a new operator, and this is the thing. So I went and I actually looked at Ubisoft's own subtitles here. They say an operator or one of the aliens, Proteans. So I don't think we're getting both with this season, and it looks like the first crisis event will bring us Zofia. And I'm pretty sure that's Echo next to her. There was a lot of people thinking that we were going to get Ying because she was actually in the very first technical test, like basically years ago now. Thankfully, I never played it, so I'm not under NDA. But I know that other people did, and they said that Ying was in it. So I assume maybe they didn't think she was a good fit and decided not to go with her. But certainly the profile could be Ying. I just think it gives me massive Echo vibes when I look at that. That is, like, it's got his collar, it's got his hair, it's got his legs. Like, literally, to me, that is Echo. And of course, no idea what the Proteans will actually be like. They will, of course, change up gameplay by bringing in a whole different hostile. So I'm kind of liking the idea of bringing in an operator or a different alien type. But thankfully, they're also bringing in something else, which is going to be React Tech. So like Siege, where you bring in a new operator with a new gadget, of course, with this game, you're bringing in a pre-existing operator from Siege with maybe a slightly modified gadget, but we're actually getting whole new gadgets as well. So with this one, we're going to get an auto turret, which looks cool. And of course, I'm an Aliens fan, so I'm very happy to be able to set up a potential turret, and that looks cool. So that's kind of a surprise I was not expecting. They also said they're going to bring in new cosmetics, which of course is no surprise. There's going to be a store in this game. What I am surprised about is no battle pass mentioned whatsoever. That's good. Like, I'm assuming at some point in the future we will see a battle pass, but I'm glad not to see one at launch. Now, of course, Ubisoft has been making a lot of dumb decisions over the last couple of years, and the only good thing that's been around for a while now is they do support their games, even if they don't do well. So Ghost Recon Breakpoint, for instance, this recent update just came out and it's been very well received. And that game is definitely not making the money, I think. So I'm very hopeful this will continue to get updates, at least through 1 year, if not more. And it only has to do better than Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which, you know, I think it probably will at this point. Now, quickly jumping back, we do have the assignments, and they shouldn't be overlooked. This is a playlist that is going to have some very hardcore stuff in it, and it's basically set up just like the other stuff in Extraction. So it's 3 subzones you go into, and you can extract at any point and stuff like that. And each subzone is the same size or bigger than a Siege map. We have an actual list of the first bunch and what they're going to be. I'm assuming for the first season, however long that will be. But we're going to have Veteran mode, which basically will have like limited HUD and stuff. We're going to have Kick the ANTHILL, which to me sounds much more like a Horde kind of mode where it might just go crazy all the time. Then we have Wall to Wall, which again sounds like a crazy mode where everything could go nuts. But those are going to be the first assignments. In my early access gameplay, I was allowed to actually jump in and play this mode, but I wasn't allowed to record it. And I think we shouldn't overlook it because it looks like it's going to have extra variety, and again, those reset every so often, so you can keep jumping into them. And for me, assignments might actually end up becoming my main game mode, with Maelstrom Protocol being something I jump into maybe once or twice a week just to put down a decent rank and see how I do. But overall, for the free post-launch program, we have the Maelstrom Protocol, which is the end-game content, which will keep refreshing every single week, which is good. We're going to have the Crisis events. We'll have to see what that ends up being. Like, I would love it to be like a custom big map or something where you jump in and it's, I don't know, more different from the rest of it. Then we've got the weekly assignments, which is basically the same kind of gameplay where you go into your 3 subzones and do your stuff. And of course, you're going to get new operators and new proteans, which I think is going to be 1 per season for 1 operator, then an alien, then an operator, then an alien for maybe a full year. We don't know if these seasons are, like Siege, basically they're a 3-month thing or not. But we can certainly look at the roadmap that they kind of showed us, a little tease of it. And clearly the first one launches with assignments and Maelstrom Protocol with the Crisis event in the middle, then assignments again at the end there. But the next one begins with a Crisis event. So I think that's what a normal season will look like. It'll launch with a Crisis event, a new operator or a new alien, and then you go into their stuff. And let's also talk about the stuff they've not discussed yet, which is the campaign. So we are going to have a story. It'll be on the maps, of course, that we normally will be playing on, but we do have a little teaser of this from IGN. Actually got some exclusive footage from the campaign, and it actually has Ash and Thermite talking to the operators as they move through their subzones doing their missions. I'm assuming we might have like cutscenes and stuff in between, but who knows at this point. But yeah, that to me is another interesting part. I'm not too fussed about the story because it is considered to be in a different universe. It's an alternate reality to Siege, so it doesn't really matter. But what I want to see is the characters, because we don't usually see much of the Siege characters other than the odd special kind of CGI that they make. So a full campaign where I actually get to see them doing stuff could be really cool. And this game is launching with 18 operators, so I'm hoping we get to see a whole bunch of them in CGI that we haven't seen before. And yeah, for me, who has played this on the easiest mode and the hardest mode now, I like the game. I keep saying this, and I probably will always say this, I will always go for a counterterrorism game over alien game, but this is like playing Deep Rock Galactic or Back 4 Blood, and I don't really think Back 4 Blood is very good, but I think Deep Rock Galactic is amazing, and it's very repetitive. You're doing the same things over and over again, but it's great. The advantage there is procedural maps and things getting, changed up quite considerably. Your weapons and stuff as you level up really do change a lot in that game. I love going from a flamethrower to a ice thrower in that game. And I do wonder if this game is going to have that, because I don't imagine I'm going to, be as interested in the weapons and stuff. But saying that, I love Siege's gunplay because I don't particularly like the gunplay in Deep Rock Galactic. So this has the gunplay elements down for me, and that's going to be enjoyable. It's also a bit more, it feels a bit more efficient when moving compared to Deep Rock Galactic, but again, this is a game that I see slotting into that co-op element that I enjoy playing with my friends. So just like jumping in Deep Rock, I think I'm going to jump in and play this. But it could always end up going the other way and end up being more like Back 4 Blood and being pretty boring. So I hope it doesn't end up being it. And at this point, of course, this is not a review. It might end up being a terrible game. But for me, so far, I'm really enjoying it. And we'll see as it gets closer to launch. I should get early access. We should get to play it early and see it and review it. And let you know if it is good or bad when we actually get to launch on January 20th. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And I'll catch you next time.